CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
A teenager in Saanich could face charges on a weekend purse snatching that has put seniors in Victoria on high alert. On Saturday afternoon, an 80-year-old woman was thrown to the ground and her purse containing hundreds of dollars was stolen from her in broad daylight. It happened at about 5 o'clock near the intersection of Fort and Langley. Once the thug had the purse, he ran to the Bay Centre, where a suspect was spotted on a security camera. Police released that picture on Saturday night, and soon after, somebody recognized the photo on a Facebook page. An 18-year-old Saanich man surrendered to police yesterday at his home. Vic PD hopes the incident sends a clear message.
The first one I would say is, for any seniors, the personal safety thing. You don't want to be carrying around that much cash, especially when you're out and about. I would never carry that much cash on me, so just a personal safety thing. But the other one I would say is a message of hope. You look at how many people took part in making sure this woman was okay, how many ran after, and then how quickly we were able to get an identity on this man. It certainly tells me that Victorians aren't going to stand up for this type of crime.
Vic PD is recommending a charge of robbery against the 18-year-old, who police say is known to them. The suspect remains in custody pending a bail hearing on Thursday. Seniors say that since the incident, they've been on high alert, and some are preparing in case they're a target.
It was horrifying.
How come?
Because it could have happened to me. I'm over 80.
But it's up to ladies, really, and to wear a purse with a long strap so that they can throw it over their neck. I'm a culprit today because I'm not out with my purse that has got a strap.
I've been walking around town now for 30, 40 years, and I used to live over on Cook Street. I've never had any trouble, but I always wear my purse over my shoulder.
It's a good thing to do. The victim's purse, by the way, and her cash have been returned to the elderly woman. She was shaken, but she is recovering from minor injuries suffered when she was thrown to the ground. Well, a gas price war in Greater Victoria's West Shore had drivers lining up for a cheap fill-up, but it didn't last, as it never does. The price of regular yesterday and earlier today was anywhere from $1.13 to $1.16 per litre in the West Shore outlets. That is about a quarter per litre cheaper than the pump price in Victoria, which is at $1.39 per litre. But by mid-afternoon, the prices on the West Shore were inching back up again. The province is overhauling BC's welfare system. Needy families will get more tax exemptions and up to $175 for each child for back-to-school expenses. If you're on welfare, you can now earn up to $200 working before any of your social assistance is clawed back. And people who are on disability assistance can earn up to $800 in a month before losing any benefits. Premier Christy Clark says it'll help families in need to get back on their feet.
I believe that these balance changes will remove barriers to employment and provide adequate supports for those who are in need. They will help people get back into the workforce and improve the financial situation for vulnerable people and their families all across British Columbia.
It will take longer to collect social assistance, though. You're now going to have to work, or look for work rather, for 5 weeks instead of 3 before you're eligible. A mediator has been appointed in the stalled contract talks between the province and the BC Government Employees Union. Mediator Debbie Cameron meets with both sides beginning Tuesday. She's been a mediator since '94 and has helped to settle nurses' contracts. Talks covering 25,000 government workers, including liquor store employees, are at an impasse over wages. Last month, BCGEU members voted 82% in favor of job action to back their demands. A fisheries researcher says sockeye salmon from Washington State could be to blame for a virus outbreak at a fish farm near Tofino. A fisheries research lab in Campbell River says wild sockeye are likely to blame for the IHN outbreak at Mainstream Canada's Dixon Bay Farm. The Centre for Aquatic Health Science believes that sockeye migrating from Washington likely infected the farm's salmon. IHN is common in wild salmon stocks and is considered relatively harmless, but it is deadly to farmed Atlantic salmon. A close call for some businesses in Saanich this morning when their building caught on fire. When crews arrived to the 3500 block of Quadra Street, there was thick smoke coming from the back of the building where an appliance store and a dog spa are located. Firefighters were able to contain the fire into the bathroom area, but the rest of the business was closed due to heavy smoke damage.
Crews arrived here. It was a heavy smoke coming out the rear of the building. The Engine 1 crew came in and basically extinguished it fairly quickly. It started in a bathroom area at this time. We have no idea what's caused it. It's under investigation.
The two other businesses in the strip also sustained some minor smoke damage. Firefighters say it's about $75,000 worth. No one was hurt in the fire. Well, aside from Ashford's forecast, a sure sign that summer is near is that downtown Victoria's hanging baskets are going back up. Mayor Dean Fortin had a hard hat on today as he hung the first basket of the year outside City Hall this morning. This is a program that was launched in 1937 to celebrate the city's 75th anniversary, and now the basket themselves are making 75 years or marking 75 years on Victoria streets.
Well, you know, this is the 75th year of the hanging basket program, really something that's been iconic to Victoria all around the world. It was kind of cool to go to Morioka and actually see one of our posts with hanging baskets on it in Japan. You know, so just want to do a big shout out to the men and women that have been putting these baskets up, really defining Victoria, the men and women in our parks yard. Thanks very much. It's an awesome job, and as you know, we put 2 up right now and 1,398 more to go.
This year there are 9 varieties of plants being used in the baskets, and each basket has 25 plants in it. A traffic accident shut down the Trans-Canada Highway this morning north of Ladysmith. There were 2 vehicles that collided at about 11 o'clock at the intersection of the highway and Oyster Stolo Road.
3 patients were transported to the hospital by ambulance. 2 of them we had to pop open the doors of one vehicle just so they could be safely extricated. The other vehicle their driver was fine.
The highway reopened a short time later. None of the injuries is considered life-threatening. Police are still investigating what caused the crash. RCMP and Nanaimo say they're seeing an increase in thieves traveling on 2 wheels. And those wheels are usually stolen themselves. The arrival of warm weather and longer days has many of us hopping on our bikes, and police say it's a good time to remember the importance of securing yours when you're not riding it. If you don't, you might lose it.
Predictably, there's a number of bikes being stolen at this time of the year, and unfortunately a number are being stolen simply because they're being seen in a carport. So the key is to reduce that opportunity and remove the bike and have it locked at all times. There's a number of reasons why they steal bikes. One is they sell the bike for drugs, of course. The second one is that they use it for a crime. They take that bike, they commit a crime, they dump it somewhere else.
RCMP say you should record the serial number of your bike, take a picture of it, and that will increase your chances of getting it back if it is ever stolen.